I'm not going to go into politics at all on this. So whatever your beliefs are this, my personal belief is that every man, woman, and child owes it to their brothers and sisters around the world to have their vaccination. And the sooner we all get vaccinated, the sooner we can all be in the same room singing together. And the sooner the kids that Katie teaches every day are going to be safer, and the sooner our friends that we sing with are going to be safer. So if you can advocate to your circle of friends to get vaccinated, because singing is now a possibility thanks to the vaccine. That is very nice. I just had my first quartet rehearsal in 13 months, a week or two ago. And unfortunately, the 13 months did not make us better. It was amazing. And I keep hearing these stories from people on Facebook that we sang together for the first time in a year and it was so great. And well, we sang together for the first time in a year, and all I know for sure is that my senior quartet is a year older. But we do love each other, and we do love singing, and we might have had a couple of celebratory drinks that night. So like I said, I just wanted to say hello, and if Russ hasn't mentioned it, I am going to be at the Southwestern District Festival or Convention, whatever you're going to call it, in September. We're going to drive down, and my wife is going to, if I'm still with my wife, we're going to be living together for the first time in 20 years. And so we'll see how that goes. Maybe a vacation in the future will be my wife and I not being under the same roof. I will let her define that. But I'm going to try to get to as many conventions as I can that are safely administered and get out and say hello. And I'm very much looking forward to being in Dallas. I think it's the last week of September. Yes. And so I will, I'll mute, I'll turn it back to Russ. And I'm sorry I can't stay for your whole meeting tonight, but I will see you on Saturday morning, and you'll hear pretty much the exact same stuff.
John, you want one sleeping room or two?
That's going to depend on Janet. I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to say that we could probably go with one room.
Okay.
I joke about it, but we are so looking forward to being under the same roof for all the years that we've been together. Janet's taking care of her mom. Her mom was in her early 80s, and her mom passed away last year due to COVID. It was a blessing. She was in a memory ward in the last year of her life. And so we were going to say goodbye to her. And now with my retirement, we're going to actually live under the same roof and see what it's like to be married. And maybe, we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to go well. So thanks for the invite tonight, and I'll turn it back to Russ.
Thanks, sir. It was great to have you here tonight. And just anytime that you have to go, we understand. So thank you very much. Mark, you want to share your screen?
Just going to say that in order to get things officially started here, let me share my screen. And
it's that new technology.
Yeah, that's right. It just takes a second. There we go. And we will start off with the old songs.
Right. Waiting to hear it, Mark.
All right. Let's restart that. Technology is a wonderful thing. There we go. There we
There you-
go. And we will now go to the agenda.
Thank you, sir.
Meeting minutes, as it were.
Uh-huh. I think, let's see, we took care of John there.
Yep.
Gary, you want to do a roll call? See if Gary's still with us. See, Gary, are you with us? You're muted. I see he has an issue.
All right,
There we go.
There.
sorry about that. It was, now I can't find my. Okay, hang on. You know, I had this all lined out until you guys got on the call.
Okay, buddy. We're all in this together.
All right. I've checked off everybody but Charles Drake and Marshall Crowell. Are they present?
They are not. Charles is taking care of his wife who's ill. And he'll keep us up to date on that. So just pray for their family. And Marshall is singing at a with his quartet at a retirement home. So we said, go sing, go sing. So I believe we have everybody else, don't we?
Yeah, and that means we've got a quorum, so go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Okay, and thanks to John for making, giving us the greetings from the society. And Gary has sent us the current agenda. Can everybody read it? Okay, everybody's got a copy? Okay, so we need to get approval of this agenda, right?
Let's, approving the agenda closes it. And
Okay.
since I've added something at the last minute, let's not.
Got it. Okay. All right. So let's see. Next is our treasurer report.
No,
with-
no, approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Everybody got a copy of the 2020 fall board meeting minutes. And I need to have them approved or amended or whatever.
Okay, do we need a motion? Do we?
Need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
The second is from Scott Baylor. And so any discussion here?
No,
Anybody have any update or any information on that?
no, it's,
Okay, so let's see. What's the easiest way on this Zoom here, Carrie, for you to,
just a voice vote.
okay? So with everybody's approval, would they just say yes?
Yes,
Yes,
Aye.
Anybody have a no? All right, looks like it's approved. Okay, next on the agenda is treasurer report with Dwayne Cooper.
good evening, everyone. Can you get to the PDF copy of what was sent out on the treasurer's report? Or do you want to put anything on the screen or?
I can do that. Give me just 1 second.
Or is everybody able to open the PDF?
Yes, I
Yes.
was able to open it. Yes.
There it is. And here we go.
This won't take long. Surprising saying how short your meetings can be. Or at least from a number standpoint. So I did, well, I'll talk a little bit while it's popping up on the screen here. I actually did not go back in, or at least for this meeting, and do a monthly budget for this year, 2021. But I will give you year-to-date totals of where we are through March 31st. And then I'll touch on 2020 that we actually finished with in the positive. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And I will meet the tax return form 990 mailing deadline without extension, hopefully. I'll even do the first extension or first due date of May 15th. So do watch for your email, as because you're on the board, you're supposed to see a copy of the 990 before it gets filed with the IRS. Fortunately, I don't have to take any remarks from anyone. All I have to do is show it to you. So we still have an issue, Mark?
Well, there is popped up there. Let me try opening it in a different program because that didn't show up very well.
Because we're still on your share screen, right? Or,
Yes. Oh, hang on. There, I didn't.
all right, yeah, I got
show up
my
that great.
My wonderful scanner. All right, well, let's start with the December 31st. What you're looking at there is a December 31st balance sheet. The important number on there is the top one is the bank, the money in our checking account, which is $95,390.28. So let's go to the next page and talk about how we finished the year of 2020. Yes, scroll down on that one. And hopefully everybody can open their own personal copies on their own computer, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll down. It's not letting me.
No. Well.
Let's
So
try the arrow to the right, Mark. The gray box.
Hang on a second. Ah, there we go. There we go.
Thank you.
My Zoom was covering it up. Sorry.
well, and we don't really. I'll just highlight some of the points on here. Our member dues for the year at 31,326. Historically, we would have been in like the 40,000 range. So we have been dropping off over the last 3 years. Hopefully some of that dues will recover. As a reminder, we are on a cash basis for reporting. So these numbers actually have the fourth quarter of 2019 through the September 30th in terms of membership. I received the fourth quarter check in January. That makes sense to everybody. So this 31,000 actually reports about 5 months before we even hit the pandemic. So that's probably not a great thing. We were able to have one Top Gun class last year. We charge each quartet $400 and we spend about $3,000. So that was an investment about $2,600 in training our quartets. And as you all will recall, our biggest expenditure during 2020 was our gift, this district giving back to each chapter 50% of their district dues they paid in the previous year, which has totaled a little over $18,500. So that hit our books as an expense or outflow. And the number that's going to end up as a positive number on our tax return is net income of $6,543. Are there any questions about 2020?
No, sir.
So I'm actually curious, Dwayne, and you may not be the right person to ask this, but be something more directed at Mark, but going back to the member dues, you mentioned that dues number actually was showing for about 5 months before the pandemic hit. And I'm assuming that if the rest of the district is much like my chorus has been, there have been a number of members who have just dropped off because we haven't been doing much of anything. And therefore they're looking at it and saying, why should I be paying dues if we're not going to be active until we get back into being active again? And so I guess what I'm curious to know is, do we have an indication of how far this number is expected to drop for 2021?
Well, let me, unless membership wants to focus on that, that's going to be a chapter by chapter thing, Scott, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And after I'll finish my report, I'll come back to answer your specific question. I'll specifically look at the payment I just received in April for March. So we'll see what 4 times the first quarter will be.
Okay,
Well,
fair enough.
And because I received that in April, I'll take that back. March, no. I can tell you that our fourth quarter of 2020 dues revenue was $5,900. So if you round that up to 6 times 4, you're at 24,000, down from 31,000.
So basically, we dropped 20,000 the year before in 2020, or 20%. I'm sorry, we dropped 20%, and we're going to drop another 20% you're expecting this year.
Yeah, it was probably more of like a 12% drop in the previous year. I don't think we were all the way at 40 the previous year, but 38 something.
Sure.
Yeah, down 20%.
But the guys are working, busting their tail to get back to singing again, and that's the power of the voice. So I think we're going to have an amazing upturn pretty quickly. So just hang in there. You got some more stuff there, Dwayne?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll comment on that. I don't think it's going to be an immediate start back, Russ. I think we're going to have to go and re-earn everybody's.
Agreed.
And reach out to new audiences. So hopefully,
Agreed.
some of the things we've done recently may help chapters start thinking. Anything else on 2020?
No, sir.
Just one more thing on that real quick, Dwayne. You mentioned that we probably won't have an immediate start back. What do you suppose is the lag of, let's assume we get back to singing in person and guys start to trickle in over the next 6 months, and then there's a lag before we get paid on dues from those that have re-upped or new members that have upped. What is that, 6 months?
No, the lag isn't really that bad. We get paid immediately after the end of each calendar or the quarters. So March, we get in April. June,
Okay,
we get in
so
July.
the lag is only a few weeks after the end of the quarter.
Yeah, I mean, if you join in March, I don't see your dues until July.
But February you would see in April.
Yes.
Okay.
On average. So yeah, so from a high level, we can watch things that way. Our membership guy can also can print out a report and know where chapters are standing currently. We'll probably hear that in a little bit later. All right. Then look quickly through the first quarter through March of 2020. We have $102,945 in the bank. The page before that, I guess. Mark, I think I did balance. So there, well, no, sorry. Yeah, I got my pages mixed up. So the bottom line again on the balance sheet is the cash in the bank, and that's $102,000 or almost $103,000. And I don't think we have any outstanding debts anytime soon. The income statement then, back to the first, what you were showing a minute ago, member dues. And again, this is for the fourth quarter of 2020, $5,911. We received checks from Harmony Foundation, although they still have not apparently lost our check or something for what they would have normally given us at the House of Delegates meeting last fall. And I understand that's in the $2,400 range. That would have made last year look even better, wouldn't it? Another
Yeah.
$2,400.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to track down that check, but we have received, this would be the second check from 2020, if you will, in the amount of just over $2,000. So that's that, along with our dues total income at 79.77. We're starting to pay for constant contact a little bit on the website. And that's about the only expense we're having. So net income through March 31st on a cash basis is $7,555, which accounts for the increase in our bank balance. Any questions on the first quarter? Hearing none, I'll move that you guys can accept my report.
I'll second.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any nays? All right, Gary. Does that help you out?
Help me out.
Yeah, you got that motion taken care of. I wanted to, President John said hello to Barry. Barry, again, welcome. Glad to have you here. And also, I saw on there, John Schneider is with us. Thank you, John. And Gary, it's great to see you too, my friend. Always enjoy hearing you sing in your quartet. And everybody, I think, and there's Miss Katie, and everybody is with us. All right. So the next step is, go on that screen, guys and gals, our committee reports. Let's see. Let's start with, how about Jack Stevens? How about you, sir?
Do you want me to pull up your report, Jack?
No, it's well, you can. I sent it out this morning, so everybody should have had a chance to look at it. And we're getting ready for the October event, actually starting on Thursday night, the 30th. And I think we're going to have a great convention. We're of course, driving factor is the number of competitors, and Mike is going to discuss the number of we'll call them contests or contest sessions or whatever, with the variety of everyone in Harmony ensemble. So it'll be an interesting convention, and I'm sure that there's going to be I hope there's going to be a number of entries. I will say that if we if we have more than 20 or so quartets, we typically would go to 2 sessions. When you figure that a quartet, 20 quartets is going to run about 3.5 hours or something like that. I forget what the numbers are exactly. I have some numbers that I worked up, but if you have anything more than that, you really need to break it up into 2 sessions. And if we end up with 30 quartets, it's conceivable that we'll have, starting the contest part of the convention with the semis at the quartet semis at about maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and we'll have what works out to be about 3 hours of contest, followed by a dinner break, and then another 3 hours of contest. Those are just real rough numbers, and obviously we don't know the number of entries that are going to be there. It is hoped that we can be innovative and have some training and other types of activities going on during the quartet semifinals, and keep everybody engaged. I don't know, historically speaking, we have a problem getting people there early on Friday because people tend to want to stay at work late. I have no idea what's going on in the world right now, and or how to even address that. So we'll schedule and see what shows up. And I don't know how many choruses we're going to have, but something like 15 choruses. If we started at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, we could knock that out by very early afternoon and get into evals. And my hope is that shortly thereafter we can start the quartet finals and get into more socialization and partying and tag singing and other types of events on Friday night. And then on Saturday, we'll wrap it up with the with quartet finals and a show. The things that we've been doing, you can see some of the stuff that have been that's taken on, and I owe a lot of thanks to Russ for taking the lead on a lot of those activities. Thank you, Russ. And Scott opened up an open thread for having a fun convention, and I would invite, he sent that to the board, so I would invite all of us to take a look at it, see what's been suggested, and please add comments of your own, and let's see what we can do. We're limited by the constraints imposed by the hotel. For example, I think Mark was saying something about having a party room downstairs. Well, that's going to cost money, because unlike the rooms upstairs where we bring our own booze, you got to buy it from the hotel if you do it down on the convention floor. So that may be cost prohibitive, but it's worth looking at. We've never really done a cost type event like that, because we have so much available on the floors above, and maybe we can work something out with that. But I love the idea, but again, we do have some constraints with the hotel requirements and whatnot. They have given us over the years a fantastic deal with that those 27 rooms that or 25 rooms that are on every floor, that they charge us the cost of a 2-room suite, and it's just fantastic what the chapters and organizations have done with those rooms. So, and of course we'll be trying to work in a lot of great training. I know Katie is chomping at the bits to get some really good experiences for the conventioneers, and we'll try to work out some good times, particularly on Friday, and possibly sometime after the chorus contest. Anyway, I didn't want to get into that much specifics, but I think we're looking for a great convention, and I think we're all pretty excited about giving it a shot.
I think
Katie
had a question.
Please, hand wave there, just 1 second. Jack, your team's all ready to go and all fired up to get started, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we've communicated with everybody, and everybody's talking. It's the same team basically, except Russ bailed out on us. He took some other job in the district, but he did leave us with the heir apparent, Tom Burson, who had done stage managing for the district for years. So we're excited to have him back on the team. And of course, Mike has taken over as the C&J guy. So I think it's going to be a great experience. And Mike used to be the head of the events team, so he he knows the language.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Katie, do you have you raised your hand?
Yeah, I just had a question as far as a timeline for when a schedule would be discussed. So we could kind of explore some options as far as the timeline of what Saturday would look like. I didn't know how we were going to move from the email thread discussion to a sit down conversation of really looking at some time blocks of logistics of what would work. So I didn't know how I could be a part of that or be a part of the conversation.
You're absolutely welcome to be a part of it. And I'll let you know when we do have, when we are getting together as a team to discuss it, but I don't want to bore you with all the other details, and I can provide you with the times that we can generate. A lot depends on the number of contestants as to what, those are the requisite part of the convention, is having the contest. I mean, we're required to do that. And we also want to provide the best media for the contestants, a good audience, a good stage, and we've done that. So, but we do want to provide a lot of opportunities, and I'll get you time. I'm hopeful that there'll be a couple of 1 hour blocks or 2 hour blocks, or 50-minute blocks, or a couple of 1 hour blocks on Friday afternoon, and maybe even another couple in the evening during the two semifinals on Friday. And then on Saturday, I'm hopeful for another at least an hour, maybe a 2 hour, a couple of 1 hour blocks on Saturday after the quartet contest, while the choruses are doing their evaluations. Did I say quartet? I meant chorus contest, while they're doing their evaluations. And it's the, it's the optimum time. It's a pretty good time, and trying to leave time for dinners, meals, and all the other things that go on. So
Thank you, Jack. And when you do bring Katie in as well, would you bring in Scott as well, to Scott Baylor with his ideas that are coming in for having fun?
sure.
Okay, thanks. Okay,
Gary's
so
sent out the invite, so I'll just make sure Gary includes Katie and Scott on that.
sure. And we've got Marshall Crowell, who's working up that tag singing event. So I'll have him give you, I'll make sure he gets you information on that, what he's trying to
Yeah.
work up.
And these people we're not gonna, you don't have to attend. You're welcome to attend the meeting. We're not under the Texas Open Meetings Act, but I'm not trying to provide any way to keep people away. You're certainly welcome, but you don't have to. And if you let me know what you'd like to get out of it, I'll be happy to provide that to you to save you time from having to sit through a mundane Zoom, another mundane Zoom meeting.
Katie, does that answer your question? Sounds like it did.
Yes, thank you.
Dazzle them. I can't baffle them with my brilliance. I'll dazzle them. No, never mind that. Bullshit. Okay.
Thank you.
Question.
Oh, go
Jack,
ahead.
do we owe anybody any money anytime soon for the convention? Do we have to make any kind of deposits that?
I don't think so. I'm glad John's on the call. He might.
Oh, you're muted again, Jack.
I'm sorry, I keep
There you go.
unmuting. I said that John's on the call still, I guess, and he would know, but I don't think we owe the hotel anything, and so we're okay for the time being.
When do the judges start buying tickets?
Mike would know that. And I looked at your Excel spreadsheet, and I think that's a little optimistic. I would bet that judge's expense might be closer to 8,000 or 9,000 rather than 7,500. But
For the 2021 budget?
Yeah, for a triple panel.
Yeah, that's why I sent that other sheet, so we can send me comments about that.
And the last year, sort of, they went to the sharing model.
Oh, that's That's right. That's right.
So, you know, we won't, they may be buying tickets, but that won't hit us for a little while until we know what the total costs are.
Forgot about that. That was,
Yeah, I did.
we just adopted that, didn't we?
Yeah. We really don't know what that looks like yet.
No, okay, got it.
All right, Mike, we'll come right back with you because of your motions. I'm gonna save the best for last, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, so Rocky, it's your show.
Well, I don't have much to add besides what was in the report. You know, I'm happy we're able to come up with the new website. And it's been a little slow for me to get into it because of personal issues, but that's about to spin up here in the next month or so. But I want to have it all functional and ready to go and sparkling by the time we're advertising the convention. The only other thing I want to add here is that I have a affordable source to be able to present a webcast this year. So that's good news. I'll give you more details on that later.
And Rocky, do you have any openings for possibility of vendors as of yet, or is that still?
I have not started pursuing that yet, but
Okay.
this would be time.
That's right. Everybody, I wanted to let you know that this project that Rocky's looking at with Grady's book and the preservation of our Southwestern District history is going to be just phenomenal when it's done. And I want to thank you, Rocky, for making that a long-term option of trying to preserve our history. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
You bet.
Okay. Let's see. Miss Katie, did you?
I'm sorry about that graphic. That graphic wasn't supposed to be there.
Miss Katie, you want to add?
To Rocky's things or?
No, to your part or
Oh,
you would like to say?
yeah, I guess basically we got the website up and running at the start of the year. The education tab, you could call it, drop down and all that stuff. So it's an active website where we're adding more content for virtual needs for membership. We had kind of a cluster group that started to do some goal planning for the year. So we have the community connections sessions. We've done 2 of those so far. Looking forward to doing another one of those in the coming months as well. We have on Zoom the recording of Jason Whitney's presentation that he did last month. So we'd like to be able to get that posted and shared as well. He did a session on how to reach out to your local music educators and kind of build that bridge and establish relationships with the teachers on the local front. If we can try and help promote that and share that to other chapter leaders, that would be great, because that's one of the big questions that the people have as we're kind of finishing out the school year. They might be able to take advantage of that timeline.
Yeah, Katie, that is on YouTube already.
It is. It's just you'll only know about it if you know where the channel is or how to find the channel.
Oh yeah, we can definitely promote that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we could do like a email blast, or I can get the link of the YouTube video and I can put it on the education website too.
Sweet. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. I think that's about it.
Yeah, Katie, just send me the stuff, okay? When you want to send it out.
Sounds great. Yeah, so, and I've been working with Rocky on designing and stuff, some things we might need to have for the website when it's done. Yeah, that's about it. My next big thing is going to be Virtual Harmony University. I'd like to be able to promote that for the membership, SWD membership, because there's 2 weeks of classes plus electives, and there's a lot of great offerings this year. So that's coming up for everybody.
All right, thank you, Katie. And Mark
Actually,
go ahead, Mark, go ahead.
I see Scott's got his hand up, so wanted to give
Go
him a
ahead,
chance.
Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
Still muted.
I'm sorry, I was muted. This could be for Katie or Rocky, I'm not sure which, but have we checked analytics on our website on that education page to determine how many people are visiting and how long they're staying and what they're interacting with there? And that'll give us an indication of whether we need to be promoting that more.
I have not checked the analytics. It's not an easy thing to do in our current website, but let me see what I can find out.
Okay.
I don't know if Katie had any insight from her direction at all.
I haven't on that end, just like the content building, I haven't been able to figure out how to get the other side of it yet.
Okay, I promise you the new website is going to be a whole lot easier, y'all.
Can't wait. I think that's all I got. And I put a little note, doesn't have to do with the district, but I got invited to be the Dean of Music Education for VHU this year. So
Awesome. Congratulations.
thanks. Thanks for this.
Okay, Mark is he's got our numbers and he's got our Mark Clark. He's got all our all the information that we can rely on from VHS. You had a great report there, Mark. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, thank you very
Okay,
much, though.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mark.
You bet.
No.
In the sake of time, I just want to say I'm excited to see what some of the chapters are planning to increase their membership. So we're here to help with that. Yeah, my pretty straightforward report for me. So
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Mark's doing a great job of keeping us honest on where we stand so that we can see. I believe a couple of us, Scott and a couple of us brought up, where we stand, and what's going on and how many members do we really have and all those. So thank you. Keep us in the proper role there. Okay, Mark?
You count on it.
I had a quick question.
Go
I
ahead.
know the 50-year plus members, do we do some sort of recognition for those people at the convention?
Russ, I don't know, have you done that lately? I know they've, like my dad went to International to get his 50-year pin. Are we doing anything district-wise? Have we lately on that?
John, if you're on Donauer, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
About the national, are they inviting the 50-year members to come up to International when we start up again?
Well, I know that typically we do it in the summer. There's usually a breakfast, I believe. Dwayne Cooper, isn't that the case? And obviously with Cleveland not happening this year, I'm not sure what the contingency plan is. If there are members in Southwestern District that are due 50-year pins, if you reach out to International, you can get the pins. I would be more than happy to present them to them at your fall convention.
Thank you, sir, very much. Mr. John Schneider, have you received your pin yet?
Well, now that you have asked, yes, I have, and I believe that I've written a story to the Harmonizer, telling the story of it, and I'll just take a couple minutes to do that. I was invited by the Austin chapter, of which I was a member, to join in one of their Zoom board meetings, and while I was in the Zoom board meeting, there was a ring at the front door. My wife answered, and she came into my office and said, "There's somebody at the front door, you need to come." So I did that. I went to the front door, and lo and behold, there was Katie Dane and the secretary of the Austin chapter with my 50-year pin, along with a bottle of adult beverage and a couple of other very nice things. So the presentation of my 50-year pin was just blew me away. It was just totally awesome, and I can't thank them enough. I really, and it's something that I will never forget. It was awesome.
We Zoom bombed him.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your 50th.
Thank you.
John.
Historically, though, to answer your question, Russ, I don't think we have done much at the district convention to honor the 50-year members.
Yeah. And we'll put that into our thinking caps on that because it's well deserved for sure. Absolutely 100%. All right.
Might be something that'd be at least worth putting into the, putting the list of current living 50-year members into the program.
Yeah. Did you hear that,
I
Rocky?
was actually just on the Northeastern District Zoom a couple of weeks ago, and there is a 70-year member up there that was on the call. Pretty cool.
Okay. Next is Irv. Irv, you got anything extra that's different from your report? Irv is our functional director or managing director.
Yes.
Kathy.
Let's see, after the report, we did have our show at Northeast.
Irv, you're breaking up. Sorry, buddy. And John is leaving us, guys, so he'll see us on Saturday. So we'll check back with you, Irv. Richard, how about you, buddy? You got anything extra? That was a good report that you gave us. So I just wondering if there's anything extra that you might have there.
No, just one thing I'd like to mention. I'm pretty proud of the San Angelo chapter adding 12 members since the end of September last year. They're gonna have to hand it to Mark, and they must be having some fun up there. You need to tell us more about that, okay? I'll be talking to you.
Thanks.
Thank you, buddy. On a side note of what he's talking about, Scott, do you have the Barber Palooza on your radar?
No, not really. I mean, we can certainly get some information about it, but it's not anything on the forefront of my list.
Thank you. All right, I think we got everybody. Let me see, make sure. Mark, check. Katie, Rocky, Irv. Okay, looks like you're up, Mike.
Okay, I'll even remember to unmute and let's see where we go. Before I jump into the kind of the details of the motions and everything else, just to give everybody an update, we do have 9 certified judges in the district. We have 2 candidates, so we will have some expenses. At least right now, it looks like we will have some expenses come this fall. We are going to have a candidate school that's going to be in Florida. So that it's a 2-day school. I'm estimating probably the airline tickets last time I checked going to Florida is running probably around $600, and then it'll be about $120 for lodging, and then whatever we want to allot for meals. So it's not going to be huge, but it's going to be some. So and that's for 2 people. Okay. That's probably the best way to be able to go on that. I want to, let's see, this is the rules revision. I think everybody's seen that I do have 2 motions that are out there, and I'll explain a little bit about that. If you've got that up there, I do have a presentation, but I can talk to this just as easy as the presentation, and it'll go just as smooth. There are a few rules regulations that we need to do to update our rules to get in line with what the society is doing. Obviously, the largest one is Everyone in Harmony. Okay, and so there's the concept of the ensemble, the type of ensemble, if you will. It's their ensemble classification. It's something that each group can self-declare, but in that sense, that's open now for us to do. Now the society will set what the rules are for what's going on at internationals, but we have the option for what we want to do in the district. We can have additional things or not. I've discussed this with some members of the board already in terms of what's out there. And after the discussion that we had, I made the proposal that effectively says that for the district quartet, we would have the classifications of overall, men's, women's, and mixed. Okay. Overall meaning that it's open to everybody. And so your district champion effectively would be your overall champion, and then you would have your men's, women's, and mixed. That's kind of the way that would run. I would do that both for the quartet and the chorus based on the conversations that we had. And again, I'm still open to feedback. We can do what we need to there. All right. One of the other rules changes that we need to deal with is our mixed harmony quartet right now. That was intended primarily for support of Bing, the qualification to go to Bing, so that was open to members of the Mixed Harmony Association. I want to open that up to everybody, basically, to all mixed quartets, regardless of affiliation. That may be one area where we could open up to even beyond just our own membership, as long as they have a ticket. That may be another way for us to be able to help bring in more people and have more exposure by having that open to all, in that sense. Okay.
I had a question.
Yes.
So when you're saying the classifications, so someone could be determined like the overall Southwest District Chorus champion, or they could be the Southwest District Men's Chorus champion, and then Women's Chorus champion, Mixed champion.
Yes, we do this anyway in every contest. When we have a contest, let me back up. This gets to a comment from Jack that's there. I'm changing a little terminology in the rules to help make this hopefully a little clearer. We have sessions that we run. So we have the quartet semifinal session, for example. That's Friday night. During that time, we can have a number of contests, and in fact, at one point in time, we had as many as 30 contests going on at that session. Okay, so groups that qualify for different awards and things can sign up for that award, and then you're competing for that award during that session. Okay. What I would expect would happen in this kind of thing, and we see this at times with international prelims and the district quartet. They'll be competing on both of those at the same time. They're competing for their division if they can. In this case, I would expect somebody would be competing for the overall championship and the men's, or overall and the women's, that kind of a thing.
And it's just by like highest score, no matter what affiliation you have, that would be determining
the overall.
overall.
And it's whoever signs up for that. Now the thing that gets confusing sometimes, and I don't want to hog everything here, but we see this all the time, especially with the seniors, and we'll start to see it with some of the others. Once you have won that contest, you can't compete for it again. The champion, like the men's quartet champion today, prior to adopting this, the district champion cannot compete again for the district champion, but they can compete for international prelims or something else. So sometimes what you'll have happen is you'll have a contest where you have multiple people in there, and your district champion is not the highest scoring group because they were not qualified to be in that particular contest. And that seems to, especially for the seniors quartet, that seems to be a little tough to grasp sometimes, why a group that didn't score the highest isn't our district champion. But that's the way our rules are, is that once you've won that, you can't compete in that again, but they may be competing for something else. Okay.
And then when you're talking about the mixed harmony quartet in the discussion of your motion, does that mean that anyone who's in a mixed quartet that is trying to qualify for the mixed quartet competition, that they don't have to be a member of BHS? Is that what you're saying? Or
You know, I probably need to word that a little different. Open. I would like to have the mixed harmony quartet. Yeah, that's a good question. Let me think of the right way to put that. I think if we're going to have we are going to have mixed harmony quartets within our society and within the district. So our district champion should be a district member. I think that should be the way that goes. Maybe we need to have a different. That's why. Okay, sorry. Now I've got it. I have mixed. So there's a district mixed. I had to kind of get back on track here. There is a district mixed quartet or district mixed chorus, but the mixed harmony, is a open award for anybody. Okay, so our district champion would be from district mixed, but but we could have something that's open for everybody. That gets around. Right now, we have in our rules that to go to the mixed harmony quartet contest, you have to be a member of the district or a member of MBHA. And what I'm saying here is, let's just open that up for everybody. If they're trying to qualify for being, they're going to have to be members of MBHA. But there's no reason why we can't, just have another session that's qualifying for being, and that have that open for everybody.
But anybody that's competing for a district title has to be a member of the district.
Correct.
So the only
we can have a district award, could call it in this case mixed harmony, or if we want to give it some other name to kind of make that a little bit more understandable, we can have something that is open to all, or kind of like we do with youth. When you do youth, you don't have to be a member, but you can still be part of youth. Okay. And I'm just looking at ways that we can be more inclusive, bring other people in, maybe get some interest for the society by having something that is open to all. So that's kind of the proposal of where I'm trying to go with that.
sorry, I have one more question. So if someone wanted to compete at the convention in the mixed harmony bracket, wouldn't necessarily have to be an SWD member. They just wouldn't qualify to be a district mixed quartet champion.
Correct.
If they won and they got the highest score, then they could be a mixed harmony champion.
Correct.
Okay. Clear as mud.
Yep. Yeah, it is. And I'm sure what we're going to wind up having to do is, we're going to have to come up with better language probably for these, but at least at this point in time, that's the concept, and we can always clean it up as we see what we need to do, to get there. But I think that's the concept.
And that would just mean they just pay convention fees to come and sing, but they wouldn't have to become a BHS member or a mixed harmony. Okay.
Right.
Mike, do you feel that we're ready to have you, you've made the motion? Do you want to bring it up? You're ready to bring it up and we can have further discussion needed? Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I'm ready for, if we're open for discussion, and then we can.
Got to do the motion. Wait, go ahead and, Gary, you want to read that for him?
I can read it if you want it, or however.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Motion 2021-2 that the Southwestern District official contest rules be revised to align with the society rule changes for everyone in harmony, to include but not limited to the following: district quartet ensemble classifications of overall, men's, women's, and mixed; district chorus ensemble classifications of overall, men's, women's, and mixed; district mixed harmony quartet contest open to all mixed harmony quartets regardless of affiliation. Okay.
All right. So that's your motion.
That's the motion.
Second.
Second.
Who is that?
Scott Bailey. All right, any further discussion?
I will
Please.
add a little bit more. There are some other rule changes that again are in the line of aligning to the society. Some of those, for example, that would be part of this update of the rules. Okay, but for example, quartets now can compete twice, right? And so that needs to be acknowledged within our rules and things like that. So this is still all in the spirit of aligning to the society rule changes, including everyone in harmony. So that's why it's not limited to. Okay, if you follow that.
Mike, just one question.
Yes.
In the mixed harmony quartet contest, is that aligned strictly with the Bing contest?
No.
Or is that just something completely separate?
It's separate. It could support it, but it's separate. Okay?
In order to support it, they do have to be part of the mixed harmony society.
And in fact, in the past, when we had the mixed, we could do that as well, because there's again, not to go too nuts, but from the CA perspective, we just created another contest. One of them is like Bing qualification, and the other one is the mixed harmony, right? And so you could be singing at your two set songs can go to both of those. And the only people that would qualify to go to the Bing qualification are those who are members of the Mixed Harmony Association. Okay. In our current rules, the way that it's stated is that we could have it every year, but only every other year is when you can qualify. So again, we already had it open to having that every year, regardless of Bing. Okay.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none. I'm gonna take a lead from our past president, and we'll go with anyone who has a nay against this motion, please speak up. All right, and we'll assume all the rest are in favor of this. All right, very good. Mike, you want to do the second one?
Yep, I can do this one fairly quickly. So this is SWD motion 2021-3, that the fall district convention for 2021 only shall have the following contest. Let me say that again in a different way. That the fall district convention for 2021 only shall have the following contest. I need to put the emphasis correctly. Because we didn't have a spring, we need to account for how we're going to do everything that we would normally do in the spring. So that's why this motion exists. And so I can read all of these if you want. I'll summarize it this way. It's every contest basically except the district small chorus contest and the district chorus show package contest. And we can, I'll leave it at that. We can open up the motion if we get a second, and we can have discussion on that.
So Mike has made this motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
And that's Scott Baylor, seconded. All right, any discussion, please feel free.
Mike, I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
Is there no longer still a next gen quartet qualifier?
No, the way that they're doing that now, it's all by video submissions.
Okay.
Okay. And that's one of the reasons it's I didn't put it in here, and then I'm questioning whether we need to have it in the rules, but I'll kind of leave it there for now. But yeah, that all of that now is being done by video submission and other things. So we don't have a youth champion unless we want to have one. We've had a hard time getting people to come for the youth contest unless they were trying to qualify to go. So.
Last year, the last time we had a contest, we featured the, I think it was Polaris or whoever the youth quartet was, but it was for score and evaluation only. They weren't really in the competition.
Was Big If True, were they counted as next gen, or were they just like rookies, first contest kind of thing?
I would have to go back and look and see how they were entered. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And Katie, you want to ask that other question of yours?
Oh, I just didn't even know that we had a small chorus contest or used to. I didn't.
Okay. The reason I didn't put it in here is because we, in the effort to try to make sure we had enough attendance in the spring, we had a small chorus contest in the spring. Okay, that's as opposed to the Plateau A contest that was going on in the fall. So if we're having a Plateau A contest, it doesn't make much sense to have a small chorus contest at the same time.
And those are not the same thing.
Not technically. I mean, it's kind of the same general qualification, but the way that we ran it before is the Plateau A, AA, and AAA were only done in the fall, and that's by the qualified quartets who qualified to compete at district, and that's how we did that. The spring was open to any group that wanted to come. So, whether you qualified to go to district or not, you could come and compete for the small chorus contest. And as far as the chorus show package contest, we could have it. That I have no problem doing that. I'm a little concerned about time and just logistics, especially trying to get back into the swing of things. That one in and of itself tends to be, it's supposed to be a longer package, like a 12-minute package as opposed to 2 songs. And it's also a little bit tedious to try to get the results and things at the end of the contest. So I admit I'm just a little bit leery of throwing that in when we're just firing things back up. But I would be more than willing to have and happy to have that if we think that will add more fun to the contest. Seems like we haven't really had a huge pickup of anything with that, but I'm definitely open to that.
Mike, a technical suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Is there any real necessity to have the language excluded for 2021 only and those 2 contests as part of the motion? Because if you put them in there, then it sounds like you can't have the district chorus package. And if it was ultimately decided to do that, it might be a conflict.
I'm more than happy to not put that in there. The reason I added that was, and maybe that was just good for discussion, was so that everybody would understand what was going on. And basically, we brought everything in from the spring and the fall into one contest, and those are the only 2 we didn't. But I'm more than willing to strike that from the motion. I have no problem with that.
So Mike, this may be a slightly unrelated topic, but I wanted to ask it anyway because it's kind of related to what John was just talking about, and that is this is for 2021 only. And assuming that we get back to normal by the end of 2021 or after this convention, I'm assuming, I guess the assumption is that we would go back to having spring and fall in 2022. But didn't we have like a limited time that we were trying that, and when was that time up? And I guess my question is, if we're relatively successful with this one in the fall, are we just automatically going to go back to what we had before, or would we propose that we look at this and say, hey, we did this in the fall, we got really great feedback from people. I think that there may be an impetus to try to do everything all in one inclusive once a year event next year, or what are our thoughts on that as we currently stand with that rule?
To be perfectly honest, I don't think I'm ready to go one way or the other on that at this point in time until we know what we're doing. My general sense, I'm more favor of having a spring and a fall, and as long as we can find a way to be able to make it to where we can have more people attending. The whole idea behind that is to try to get more people to sing twice a year as opposed to once a year. And the other side of that coin is, as Jack was saying, one of the other things that was driving that to this is you start adding everybody in all at once. Now you're starting at 1 o'clock on Friday and you're barely getting everything done, so that you can try to get it in. And in fact, there was when we had the mixed harmony quartet contest after the chorus contest, there was no time to eat. Almost literally, it was, you started at the chorus contest and you went straight from that to the mixed harmony quartet contest, and you got 30-minute break, and then you had to go to the finals, and then you went to the show. And I'm not sure how much fun that is for everybody, just to be sitting there that much time and not having the time to do other things. And so that was the big impetus of why we were going to both spring and fall. So I again, I'm not ready we can definitely have a discussion of it, but not as part of this motion at this point. This is just to cover the fact that we didn't have a spring and we got stuff we got to do.
And Jack Stevens, are we under contract in San Antonio?
Yes, we have a $2,500 deposit that they're holding at the school, UTSA, for our $5,000 fee. And John has already worked out with the hotel that we extend the obligation that we committed with them. Well, it was in 2020 and now 2021 to be forwarded to 2022. So we have financial obligations with both the hotel and the school for a convention at UTSA in 2022.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
All right. For this specific motion, are there any other discussions? Anything at all?
Now
right.
we're voting on a motion exclusive of those last 3 lines.
That's what I was just going to say. Is I accept the friendly edit, if you will, of the motion, so I can amend the motion to just include those last 3 lines.
So if we're excluding something, what are we striking out of this motion?
Right where it starts at the last 3 lines where it says excluded for 2021 only, and the next 2 lines, those are the 3 lines that are being removed from the motion.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gary, do we need to do anything else on approval or anything, or second motion, or the second approval? The seconding of the motion?
I think we're a little more informal than that, so let's just
Very
go
good.
ahead to a vote.
All right, so we'll do again, those who are against the motion, please let us know. And we'll, not hearing any, we'll assume everybody's happy with that motion. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it, buddy.
And I'll send something out to everybody later on if you're really getting sleepy and you want to have something to look at. I do have a summary of some of the rule changes and other things that are out there, and how the gender plays into some things. I did that as a PowerPoint. I'll just pop that up as a PDF and send it out to everybody. That way you can have some background if you're wanting to know what's going on. So
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Okay, Gary, would you remind me, this was your motion, the next one for the due?
Let me back up and cover the fact, just so we have it in the record. That first motion was a motion that was handled by email since the last board meeting, just to affirm our intent to have a fall convention at the DFW Hyatt, and that there is no unfinished business that we're addressing.
Thank you, sir.
I've been getting a lot of questions recently about what is the district dues for this or that, and I kept trying to figure out what was driving all these questions. And it turned out that the society board redefined their membership classifications, and it left us out of sync with what they were doing. And so this particular motion is intended to bring us back into alignment with what the society's definitions of the membership categories are. And then there's the question of dues calculations. Part of my problem, the society information looks like it was written by a 6th grader or something, because they define some of the categories in terms of how the dues are calculated. And if that's the definition of the category, then nobody has any authority to change the dues for that particular classification. If I say the dues are the a senior member is someone who gets 75% of the regular member dues, who's 75 years of age or older, which is what they did, then I can't come because only the society board can write the definitions of the classifications of members. I'm left out of the loop. I can't change my dues categories. I don't think that's what they intended, but it's what they did, and it's a mess. But they came back after they realigned everything in February, and they were asking Dwayne, what is our dues structure for like senior members and 50-year members, and they got it all wrong. So I'm looking at they have a set of dues that they maintain for the district. They've got our regular dues right at $48. They say our youth dues are $24. They don't take into account anybody getting 0 in their first year anymore. They say that our senior members are 24, but our definition of a senior is 70 years of age with 10 years of service. Their definition is now age 75, regardless of the number of years of membership. And then there's this question of the 50-year members. Our rate down here is listed as $48. So our dues go from 24 as a youth to 48 as a regular member to 24 as a 70-year-old senior member to 36 as a 75-year-old member to $48 if you're a 50-year member. In other words, we're really going to penalize our 50-year members.
Sorry, John.
So this proposal that I'm going to take that I'm proposing to take to the House of Delegates, if we approve that, is intended to clarify the membership classifications and the dues calculation methodologies, so that I think we're in tune with what the society intended. Now, these may not be the dues rates we want to have. I'm laying it out the way they've got it set up. So let me read this motion to you. Southwestern District Motion 2021-4, that the Southwestern District present to the House of Delegates, or present for House of Delegates approval, the following realignment of its membership classifications and dues calculation methodology to match the new society membership classifications and dues calculation methodology as amended February 2021. The Southwest District changes to take effect for new memberships and membership renewals on August 1, 2021. The reason for that, putting it out to August 1, is because the last time I heard, it still takes 60 days to change the dues structure in the member center. I don't know if that's still correct, but I'm having to go on that assumption because you're not going to find anything in the member center about it.
Yeah.
Okay, the new society membership categories and the proposed Southwestern District dues rates calculation methodologies are as follows. Regular member, the definition that I'm proposing, the society's definition is anyone who is not a youth or a senior member. But that leaves out, what about 50-year members? How are you defining a youth member? Okay, well, they define youth member in terms of birthdays, which is stupid because leap year babies can have 26 birthdays and be 100 years old. You don't define it in terms of birthdays, you define it in terms of age. So I'm going to propose that we define the regular member as all members between the ages of 26 and 75 who are not 50-year members. And the Southwestern dues for a regular member are set by the Southwestern District House of Delegates. Current rate is $48, and I'm not proposing to change any of that. The senior member, the definition by the society is, as of February, is a member who is 75 years of age or older, regardless of years of service. Well, actually, they just say 75 years of age. They don't say older. So when you turn 76, you got to pay regular dues again. So the dues calculation, if we adopt what the society is doing, Southwestern District dues would be set at 75% of the regular member dues by formula. In other words, a 25% discount off the current regular member dues. And the reason I'm suggesting we do it by formula is so that we only have to take into consideration the regular rate in the future. All we have to do is change the regular rate, and everybody else's rates will change proportionately. So the current Southwestern District rate is $24, which is a 50% discount off the regular rate for members age 70 plus with 10 years of service. The proposed rate is 75% of the regular member dues, currently $36 at age 75, regardless of years of service. Now, this is going to leave a gap. If you just turned age 70 and you've got 10 years of service, like, well, me, your dues would go down by 50% under the current formula. But if you change this to match the society, it'll go back up to $48 until I turn 75. Just so you know that there's a problem in all of this. The youth rate, I'm defining it as a member who is not yet 26 years of age, as opposed to achieving their 26th birthday. The dues rate, Southwestern District dues are to be set at 50% of the regular member dues by formula for all those not yet 26 years of age on their date of joining, renewal, or reinstatement. The current rate is $0 in the initial year and $24 for every subsequent year to age 26. The proposed rate is 50% of the regular member dues in all years, including the initial year up to 26 years of age. Life member, I don't think that's really changing. Life member is a member who has paid the life member dues rate. I don't know how else to say it. And the dues rate is 25 times the regular member rate. And I'm not proposing we change that. Then they propose this Harmony Fellow / 50-year member. The definition is a member with 50 or more years of society membership. The dues rate, Southwestern District Harmony Fellow 50-year members pay no dues. That's what I'm proposing to match the society. Okay, we don't have to do that, but that's what the society does. It's either that or our 50-year members get punished by paying $48 instead of the rate for a 75-year-old.
No pressure, people, but I'm taking notes.
So, John, how do you feel about all that? Effective August 1, John. Effective August 1. So that's the proposal that I'm suggesting we take to the House of Delegates. They may want to have a different rate methodology. The definitions, I think, are pretty solidly in line with the society definitions. They may decide they want to have a different rate structure. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But this is what I'm proposing we take to them.
All right, may I have a second for the motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Rocky. That was Rocky. All right. Any discussion on this?
Question. Just observation. Gary, I didn't hear you say this, but the fact that we're giving 0 dues to 50-year members, those members, that could have been somebody that comes to the Southwestern District in retirement, John Schneider, and hasn't paid enough. They didn't pay the district dues for 50 years, but yet they move here and they don't have to pay dues here. That doesn't bother me, but just an observation.
Yeah, we've been in the habit of matching the society's calculation methodology. Like, for example, youth, when they propose $0 in the first year and 50% up to their 26th birthday, that's what we decided to adopt too. It's just, if you guys want to charge something, I don't care. John's good for it.
Gary, quick question. If a guy, is it the year of or is it the day of? In other words, if your dues are due on the 1st of September and you turn 75 on the 2nd of September, what do you pay?
The proposed definition is a member who is 75 years of age or older. And it of course has to do with the date that the dues are due. In other words, the society is saying in their definition that when you become 75 years of age, they will automatically change your classification. So they're not going to do that until your birthday hits, because they'll have some kind of program that'll do it for them.
But that rate then takes effect the next renewal date, and not that there's not a pro rate there, correct?
Correct.
So back to Jack's scenario, if their dues are due on September 1st and they turn 75 on September 2nd, they got to pay the 74-year dollar figure until their next renewal rate.
Right, because they won't be 75 on their renewal date until the next year.
Right.
As long as they tie it to the renewal date, not when you paid it, because otherwise somebody's going to sit there and you have a 90-day window or whatever. And I'm going to wait until the 5th to pay.
Pay late.
Hey, if you want to game the system, that's your business.
We don't know anything about that.
Hey, Gary, what's the current society rates on this? Do you know?
The current society rate for the regular member is 144. A senior member, they're defining it as 75 years of age or older, is 108. A youth member, they're defining as anyone under 26 years of age, is 72. And a 50-year member is 0.
Okay, thank you.
Plus, they're offering a discount for the 1 year for those that were, being trapped by that gap that you talked about.
I don't know, are they?
Yes, I have a certificate that I can tell them that I was a senior last year, but I'm not a senior this year, and therefore they'll give me last year's rate if I use that certificate.
Well, then I feel a whole lot better about them. I was thinking they were stiffing you.
Well, they'll be stiffing me next year when I'm 74 in November, but I pay my dues in September. So I'll be 75 in November anyway. So I'm getting stiffed 1 year, but
well, thank goodness you got a photocopier, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's news to me. I didn't know they were doing that, because it's not good. They keep it a secret. You can't find information about dues on that member center of theirs. At least I can't. And I've spent 3 hours the other day digging through it, trying to find it.
Okay, any other discussions? Hearing none, we'll do the vote again of anyone who's against the motion, please say No. All right, hearing none, that means everybody is agreeing. Gary, is that all the motions now, sir? Is that correct?
It is.
All right,
Yes.
so let's see here. Let's see. Mark, could you raise that up for me? Okay. The first thing I'd like to ask is our wonderful IPP, good sir, past president, Richard Howell. You got anything for the team?
No, I'm just ready to get back to work, guys.
Amen.
This COVID thing is kind of working on me now. It's been 14 months and I'm ready.
Amen.
Let's get this thing going, please.
Yes, sir. And Scott Baylor, do you got anything for the team, sir?
The only thing that I'll just mention in passing is something that'll probably come up and mention it just to the HOD on Saturday, and that is I want to make sure that everyone is aware that we do have a small team that's been working since really the latter part of 2020, just trying to look at ways that we can, as a come up with ideas that we as a board, how we can as a district better serve our members and our chapters. And that's one of the things that, like some of the community connection things that Katie referred to in her report came out of that. And we will be having another one of those meetings coming up soon. We wanted to hold off because April was going to be the board and the House of Delegates meeting. I just wanted you guys to be aware that we are looking at that and just trying to find ways that we can, as a district, better serve our members as we move forward and maybe learn something from this pandemic at the same time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, very much. All right. Let me see. Anyone else have anything for the team?
Russ,
Go ahead, John.
I'd just like to say Russell made the mistake of asking me to be chairman of the nominating committee for next year, and I made the same mistake of saying yes.
You did say yes, sir. You did.
And we will start that process probably the 1st of May, but give all the board members an opportunity to tell you that you will be automatically renewed unless you contact me and tell me that you will not be available for 2022. And when I say renewed, you automatically be considered to be on the slate. There are no guarantees.
Don, maybe we should talk.
Oh, we will talk, believe me.
Oh, no. You know what I mean.
I know.
All right. So we're doing a lot of great things. We're just working our way out of this COVID, and I want to thank everybody for their great work and their dedication. It's just wonderful to work with each and every one of you guys. And Gary, do we have a time? Let me see, for our next call. It looks like the fall meeting to be held at DFW on September 30th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and just in case we have to, we can do a face-to-face. I mean, we want the online meeting may be held if a face-to-face meeting cannot be held. So we'll always keep that in advance. So Mark, you got it. Mark Holdeman, do you have something for us there, buddy?
Yes, I do. We can now sing Keep the Whole World Singing.
Keep the whole world singing all day long. What good will come a-winging on a song, smile while you are singing.
Wait for it. And we're back.
Okay, Mark. Katie, did you want to bring a question up?
Yeah, I didn't know we were closing already. Otherwise, I would have asked before the song. Are you planning to go ahead and just continue to plan in detail what we're going to do this fall and just keep moving forward without any reservation and then make an official call June 1st or something like that? Because we left the language very loose with the promotion and the wording that we gave the membership. And I didn't know if that was going to be more direct.
Hey, Gary, do you remember the motion that we made on that?
On which?
About moving forward with the fall convention.
Yeah, I mean, the motion was that we have, well, it's over here, that we affirm our intent to stage a convention. I mean, we did that so that, you know, people would have an idea that they could count on us actually doing that.
Does that answer the question, Katie? Is that helpful?
I mean, just affirming our intent. I mean, that seems like, yes, we're planning on it, but if something needs to change, we'll make it change. Like that was kind of our backdoor language that we used just in case we needed to change anything. And so I guess I'm just wondering if we're going to start like a promotional plan of some kind as far as what we could have like target dates. If we're going to release this information here, we're going to have a schedule by this date. You know, we're going to start putting things on social media or.
Well, I think the whole purpose of the motion was to let everybody that's involved with planning of the thing know that hey, we're moving forward. Let's get this, you know, the promotional aspects done. Let's get the convention planning done. Let's get tickets sold. We want to get this thing moving. We don't want to have anybody questioning whether we're actually going to follow through and do this or not. But I think everybody understands we're not completely in charge of circumstances.
If I can interject and not speaking on Jack's behalf, but say that I think the events team will have to start meeting pretty soon, and we will come up with timelines as far as when we want registrations to open, when we want the hotel reservation link to be up and available, a preliminary schedule of events and that type of thing, and then massage it from there. But those details, I'm sure Jack will be calling a meeting within the next 30 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to also say, Katie, thank you for that question, because there may be others on the board that haven't, you know, been with us during this travel. But like John said, Jack works with his team to create all those timelines, and you are most certainly being involved with that, as is everyone who has any ideas on how to make this fun. And so the yes is the answer to your question. I hope we're answering for you.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure, like logistically, how the board worked in leading up to the convention. If people are operating in silos and you only get contacted if they need help, and we just kind of make it all happen, or do we have a meet point like in September or August where we update each other on what's going on and that kind of thing?
Normally, Jack has it like every month or so. And then as it gets closer and closer, he has closer times of meeting together. So they prepare and they're ready when it hits. That's why I wanted to make sure that you're involved, Marshall's involved, everybody's involved that has anything to add. Everything's on the table. So Yes is the answer to your question. And that will become.
Well, let me, if I could add to that, Katie, I think your planning for something to do in the fall would be great input to the events team. I mean, this has been one of the problems that we've had in the past is we want to do something, but nobody's got the reins of it, if you will. The events team is not the content maker. They're the ones that give you the facilities and the ability to have the content that you want. So I would say from your perspective, if you want to get a team together to start working on content for something, and then you can feed to the events team that says, hey, I want to do this kind of event. This is the time frame that I need and everything else. And then Jack can make it happen.
Katie's comment brings to mind a thought that I would share, and that is, since the CDC has come out with their new guidelines for chorus singing or choir singing, it would be a good time to reinforce to all of the chapters that we are definitely going to have a fall convention, that the new contests classifications that will be adopted Saturday by the House of Delegates, and so that they can all start planning if they haven't already started now. As everybody knows, it takes a few months to get ready to a contest ready status. So the sooner that they're affirmed that we are going to have the convention and this is what's going to happen, and the more often we reinforce that, the better off we're going to be.
Sounds like an email blast to me.
Yeah, and I was going to say I'll work on the content of that. Yeah, having got through this, I wanted to kind of get an idea of where we're going with contests and things. Now that we got that, I'll start really pushing that harder. One challenge we're going to have, just kind of being open with things that I'm aware of, the ability to sign up for contests has typically been done through BarberScore or something else that's managed more or less at the society level. That probably won't be ready until August 1st at the earliest, for anything that's there. So as far as opening the contest, so to speak, like we've done in the past, that probably won't happen until August 1st. However, that doesn't mean that communication doesn't go and everything else to be ready for that. And that's what we need to start doing is really priming the pump so that when it does open up, everybody's ready for that.
Yeah.
Can I ask Katie a question? I think everybody might want to hear this. Let's just say, for sake of argument, that the CDC does not amend its current ruling prior to the contest, prior to the convention weekend. Is it feasible to say that we can have chorus contests or even quartet contests with people wearing masks?
Absolutely. Yeah. We just might need to be ready for more risers than we need because of stage setup, and that might get creative as far as how that would be laid out. Possibly, pivoting in that banquet hall, like the long way instead of the short way. You just might need to have, double the risers for VM. I don't know how that would work. Yeah. But fully masked, and I mean, that would be a sound technician. Like, there would be new mic placements and more microphones and different kinds of microphones. Like that would all be impacted.
So I'd like to ask a question along those lines, because I have a gut feeling that this may come up in the HOD meeting, and I think it's something we should discuss before we get into that meeting, so that way we kind of have already put this out. And that is, are we, what is our position going to be on vaccinations and or masks? Are we going to say that we're going to do this per the CDC guidelines? Are we going to say that we're going to do this per the state of Texas guidelines? This can be per the local regulations for where the convention is. What are our current thoughts regarding that? So at least we've discussed this when it comes up on Saturday.
Are there rules for the DFW Hyatt that they're going to have for us as far as requirements, or those could change?
They may, and I think that's a great question, Scott. In my opinion, if we're going to have something, we don't want to have bad press because we're not following the rules, so to speak, and somebody comes in and does things. So I think we're going to have to be beholden to the rules of where we're holding the convention, no matter what. And probably the most stricter of the rules of all of the above, if you want to look at it, because it's CDC may say one thing, but if Dallas County or Tarrant County says something else, then we're probably going to have to follow what Tarrant County is saying.
Hey, John Schneider, did you have input on that from the hotel?
Well, not at this point, but I would say that when I do have more conversations with the hotel, I will try to establish a drop dead date, if you will, of when they will set restrictions that we will have to follow, and then just put it out there for all of our members at that point in time.
John, that's exactly where I was going with this, was the drop dead date, because I have a feeling that whatever we do there, that's probably going to affect participation. If we go one way, you're going to have some people that are going to say, yeah, I'm absolutely coming now, and others will say no. So anyway, I just wanted to at least get the conversation started.
What do we feel might be a good drop dead date? August 1st, September 1st? How much time will people need to adjust their plans if the restrictions are too tight?
If we were aligned with what Mike was talking about, August 1st is when they think the system's going to be available for contestants. But, we've all seen that things can change rather rapidly. I would hate to say we're beholden to 2 months out, because we don't know what's going to change during that 2-month period.
Well, let me talk to the hotel and see what they have in mind, and then we can come up with that date later on.
Sure.
Thank you, John.
We should probably consider also a release form or just acknowledgement, like that if you're coming to this convention, that you know the risk involved and you're not going to make SWD liable or anything like that.
Put a waiver or a disclaimer on the application, on the registration form.
Mm-hmm.
A COVID release waiver, sort of.
Yeah, it's pretty standard for a lot of workplaces now. Before you.
Yeah, I have to do that for my motorcycle classes.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Anybody want to say anything?
Do we have anybody from HQ that's coming, or is John Dunhauer like the representative?
John is.
Okay.
Oh, and his wife, don't forget Katie. Oh, assuming he's still married. He said, he's going to give it a try. So after 14 years or so. All right, I want to make sure everybody got their chance to say whatever they wanted. Anything else from anybody? All right, well, thank you guys and lady. Appreciate it. I meant that in the general term, Katie. All right.
Just as a reminder before we go, we've got our next district DBC call on the 11th, and then we'll be just having another roundtable that evening right after that at 8:15. I'll send out a note later on. And I'm hopeful that if you guys don't mind continuing doing those, we can kind of get some things that maybe are unofficial business out of the way. And so that way, when we have board meetings like this, they go a little bit quicker and we can do them in 90 minutes rather than having to be there for 3 hours. So plus it's nice to see all your ugly mugs a little more often than twice a year.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
I do too. All right, thanks to everybody for coming. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Need a
I'll
second? Who seconded?
Seconding.
Thank you, Katie. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Hey.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Bye, everyone.
See everybody Saturday.
Thanks, Russ.
All right, see you later.
Bye.